The elevator. Mark hated taking the elevator in his apartment building. It was old, slow, and made unsettling noises between floors, as if the cables were fraying one by one. But after a long day at work, the thought of trudging up 12 flights of stairs was worse. As the doors groaned open, he stepped inside and pressed 12. The button flickered, and the doors closed with a dull clang. The elevator shuddered and began its ascent. But something felt off. The air inside felt heavier than usual, and a faint, musty scent filled his nostrils. He frowned, rubbing his temple. The numbers above the doors blinked steadily. 3, 4, 5. Then, without warning, the elevator lurched, throwing him against the railing. The overhead light flickered violently before cutting out entirely, plunging him into total darkness. Mark's breath quickened. He reached for his phone, fumbling to turn on the flashlight, but before he could, the light above flickered back on. And he wasn't alone. A woman stood in the corner, facing away from him. Mark's heart slammed against his ribs. She hadn't been there when he got in. She wore a long, tattered gray dress, her hair tangled and matted as it cascaded over her shoulders. Her bare feet were dirty, leaving faint smudges on the elevator floor. Mark swallowed hard. Hey, did you... The woman twitched, a slow, jerking motion, like a puppet on frayed strings. The elevator dinged. Floor 6. The doors didn't open. Instead, the lights dimmed, buzzing faintly. The woman took a shaky step backward, her breathing ragged, almost like a soft whimper. Mark felt a chill crawl up his spine. He pressed the button for 12 again. Nothing happened. He pressed door open. Nothing. The woman let out a sharp, gasping breath, her shoulders trembling. Mark backed up until he was pressed against the opposite wall. "Are you okay?" His voice barely sounded like his own. She twitched again, her head tilting slightly. A faint, cracking sound came from her neck. Mark's finger hovered over the emergency button, but before he could press it, the lights went out again. For 3 long seconds, silence. Then a whisper, so close it brushed his ear. "He's coming." The lights flooded back on. The woman was gone. The elevator dinged. Floor 7. Mark stood frozen, his breath coming in sharp gasps. His reflection in the scratched elevator doors looked pale, wide-eyed, trembling. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. Then he saw it. A new smudge on the floor. A damp, dirty footprint, leading toward him. The overhead lights buzzed, flickering. Mark felt the air shift behind him, a whisper of breath against his neck. A cold, bony hand clamped onto his shoulder. The elevator dropped. Mark's scream never made it past his lips.